Let me tell you about two real people. The first person spent 30 years being the most disciplined saver anyone had ever seen. He skipped vacations. He drove an old car. He packed his lunch every single day. By the time he reached his late 50s, he had saved $800,000. It was sitting in a savings account. He thought he was set. He thought he had won. But then he did the math. And he realized something devastating. Adjusted for inflation, his $800,000 had the purchasing power of barely $400,000. 3 decades of sacrifice. Half his wealth had silently vanished. Not to bad spending, not to a scam, just to the slow, invisible erosion of time. He never invested. He only saved. And saving alone cost him everything he worked for. Now meet the second person. A 24-year-old who had just started her first job. She was not rich. She was not financially gifted. But every single month, she moved just $200 into a simple index fund. No stock picking. No complicated strategies. Just $200, consistently, month after month. By the time she was 54, that $200 a month had grown into over $600,000. She had only contributed $72,000 of her own money. The rest, more than $528,000, came purely from growth. Same country, same economy, same stock market crashes and global crises. Two completely different outcomes. The difference? One saved, the other invested. Today, we are going to talk about the real step-by-step path from saving money to building actual wealth. My name is Jack. If you have money sitting in a savings account right now with no idea what to do next, this video was made specifically for you. Hit subscribe and let's get into it. Most of us grew up being told the same thing. Save your money. Be responsible. Do not spend what you do not have. That advice is not wrong. It is just dangerously incomplete. Saving money and growing money are two completely different things. And treating your savings account like a wealth-building tool is one of the most costly financial mistakes people make. Let me give you a number that should wake you up. The average savings account today offers between 0.5% and 1% annual interest. If you have $20,000 saved, congratulations. You are earning about $100 to $200 per year. That is roughly $16 a month, before taxes. Now compare that to the stock market. The S&P 500 has returned approximately 10% per year on average over long periods. That same $20,000, invested at 10%, earns $2,000 in the very first year. That is 10 times more. But here is where it gets even more dramatic. After 30 years, $20,000 in a savings account at 1% becomes roughly $27,000. Barely moved. That same $20,000 invested at 10% annual returns grows to approximately $349,000. Same money, same 30 years. One outcome keeps you comfortable. The other changes your life. So why does almost everyone still choose savings over investing? 2 words. It feels safe. And that psychological comfort is exactly what we need to break. When your money sits in a savings account, you can log in and see the exact number. It is predictable. It is stable. Nobody wakes up and finds their savings account dropped 12% overnight. But investments move, sometimes dramatically. And that emotional discomfort stops most people from ever starting. Here is a fact that will change the way you think about that fear. In every single decade since the 1920s, the stock market has gone down significantly at some point. Crashes, corrections, recessions, global crises. Every decade without exception. And in every single decade after those drops, the market recovered and went on to reach new all-time highs. Fear of investing is a natural human response. Our brains are wired to treat loss as more painful than gain is pleasurable. Losing $500 feels twice as bad as gaining $500 feels good. This is called loss aversion. And it is the #1 reason people stay stuck in savings their whole lives. But here is what experienced investors understand that beginners do not. Short-term volatility is the price of long-term growth. Every dip, every crash, every scary headline is the cost of admission for extraordinary returns over decades. Once you accept that, the transition from saving to investing becomes far less terrifying. So how do you actually make this transition? Let me walk you through it, step by step. Step 1. Build a real emergency fund first. Before you invest a single dollar, you need 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a savings account. Not invested, not in crypto, in a simple, accessible savings account. Why? Because the #1 reason people panic sell their investments at the worst possible time is because something unexpected happened in their life. A job loss, a medical expense, a car breakdown. When people have no emergency cushion, they are forced to pull money out of investments, often at a loss. Your emergency fund protects your investments from your own life. It is non-negotiable. Build it first. Step 2. Create a mental separation between 2 buckets. Start thinking about your money in 2 completely separate categories. Bucket 1 is your safety money. This is your emergency fund and any short-term savings. This money does not get invested. Its job is to be there when you need it. Bucket 2 is your growth money. This is money you will not need for at least 5 to 10 years. Its job is to grow. It is allowed to fluctuate because it has time on its side. Growth money is the money you invest. Most people keep all their money in one mental bucket called My Savings. Once you split it into 2 buckets with 2 distinct purposes, the anxiety around investing drops significantly. Step 3. Start investing small, but start now. One of the biggest myths about investing is that you need a lot of money to begin. You do not. Most modern platforms allow you to start with as little as $50 per month. The amount matters far less than the habit. What you are building in the beginning is not wealth. It is behavior. You are training yourself to consistently put money to work. And that behavior, repeated over years and decades, is what separates people who retire comfortably from people who cannot. Do not wait until you have the right amount. Start with whatever you can. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. Step 4. Keep your first investment simple. This is where beginners make their most damaging mistakes. They get excited. They fall down a YouTube rabbit hole. And suddenly they are trying to trade options or speculate in cryptocurrency. Stop. Complexity is the enemy of consistency. For most people, a simple low-cost index fund is the single most powerful investment vehicle available. An index fund does not try to beat the market. It simply tracks the market by holding hundreds of different companies at once. Automatic diversification, lower fees, strong long-term performance. Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor who ever lived, has repeatedly said that for the average investor, a low-cost index fund will outperform most strategies over the long run. When the best investor in history tells you to keep it simple, you listen. Step 5. Make it automatic and stay consistent. Every month, on the same day, the same amount moves from your account into your investment portfolio. You do not think about it. You do not time the market. You do not check what the news is saying. You just invest, month after month, year after year. Let me show you what that looks like in real numbers. If you invest just $250 per month into an index fund averaging 8% annual returns, after 30 years, you will have contributed $90,000 of your own money. But your total portfolio will be worth approximately $340,000. Over $250,000 came purely from compound growth. Your money grew more than 3 times what you actually put in. That is not a get-rich-quick scheme. That is math. And it works for everyone who stays consistent. Now let me address the one question sitting in the back of your mind. What happens if I start investing and the market crashes? Market crashes are not just normal. They are expected. Throughout history, the stock market has experienced a significant drop roughly once every 1 to 2 years on average. This is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. Here is why. When markets drop and you are investing consistently every month, your fixed $250 investment buys more shares at a lower price. You are getting more for the same money. And when the market recovers, which historically it always has, those extra shares grow in value. This strategy is called dollar cost averaging, and it is one of the most powerful approaches available to regular investors. The people who suffer most during market crashes are the ones who panic. They sell everything at the bottom. They wait until the market looks safe again. By the time they feel safe, they have already missed the recovery. Think in decades, not days. That single mindset shift is worth more than any investment tip you will ever come across. Let me leave you with one final analogy. Saving money is like carefully collecting seeds and storing them in a jar. They are protected. They are safe. But nothing grows from them. They just sit there, slowly losing their potential with every passing season. Investing is like taking those same seeds and putting them into soil. At first, it looks uncertain. It looks messy. Some days it rains. Some days there is a storm. But slowly, steadily, over time, those seeds grow into something far bigger than anything the jar could have ever produced. The jar keeps you safe. The soil sets you free. Here is your summary. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund before you invest anything. Separate your money into safety money and growth money. Start investing now, even if the amount is small. Keep it simple. Start with low-cost index funds. Automate your investments and stay consistent through good markets and bad. And think long-term, because compounding rewards patience above everything else. Saving money gives you stability. Investing money gives you freedom. And the earlier you combine both habits, the more powerful your financial future becomes. One person saved everything and lost half of it to inflation. Another invested a little and ended up with far more than she ever put in. The only real difference was the decision to start. If this video gave you clarity on where to begin, please hit the subscribe button and drop a comment below. Are you currently in the saving stage, or have you already started your investing journey? Let me know. I read every single comment. See you in the next one.